Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video we have a very special one because this is my official recap and summary final thoughts about Miss Universe Philippines 2022. Of course, I really want to start this video by saying a big congratulations to the reigning Miss Universe Philippines 2022, Celeste Cortesi, who was representing Pasay, and honestly, she gave us such an amazing performance from beginning to end that I can only say that my heart is full of joy and so happy for her, because honestly, it is a very deserved win. But of course, the Coronation Night of Miss Universe Philippines 2022 was full of events, a lot of things happening, lots of things going on. And during this video, we're going to digest all of those things. I'll give you my thoughts and comments about the most important moments of the night. And also, you can be part of the conversation by letting me know how you felt about the entire show in the comment section down below. As usual, if you enjoy my video, please don't forget to leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss out on the new videos that I'm posting almost every single day. So without further ado, my friends, let's get into my final and official recap of Miss Universe Philippines 2022. I will see you right after the intro. Alright everyone, so let's start by talking about one of the main things that people were kind of wondering about, and that is the production of the Coronation Night. Of course, because there was a lot of conversation around the preliminary competition. It was a little bit lackluster when it comes to the lighting, when it comes to the camera angles. It was a little experimental, I will say, but we saw none of that for the Coronation Night. Actually, I thought the production was up to the caliber, to the standards of perhaps like Miss Universe International and other international pageants as well. It was definitely better than, for example, Miss World I can think of. So I think that on that level, we have to give props to the organization for the work that they put into the Coronation Night and making sure that the candidates had a stage, a lighting system, a sound system, and just an overall show that was worthy of their performances and all the effort that they put during the competition. My only feedback for the entire show, I will say, when it comes to the production, will be that I wanted to see a little bit more references to the Philippines and the culture, especially with the backgrounds that were being projected in the background screens. I still think that the videography and everything that we saw was beautiful and was very well done, but I think that if we added that little layer of national pride and the Philippines, I think that would have elevated the event even more. And of course, we also have to talk about the host of the night. I am so happy with the host because they did an absolutely incredible job. We really have to highlight the chemistry, just the dynamic that the former Miss Universe winners had during the coronation. It was honestly like a class act. You could see clearly that the former Miss Universe had an understanding of the event. They also knew what the candidates were going through mentally and physically. You know, this is a nerve-wracking experience. And I think that in a lot of situations, the hosts were also able to calm down the candidates, especially during the moment where they had to do a little statement, or perhaps during the Q&A segment. I think that having someone on stage with you that also has been through the same experience must be very reassuring for the girls. When it comes to the fashion, I think that they also went above and beyond to give us an amazing show. All of them looked incredible, but of course I really want to highlight Pia because I felt like she kept on surprising us during every single segment of the show with different gowns. And also when I learned about the inspiration behind each one of these gowns, I think that it was such a beautiful way to not only showcase Filipino talent when it comes to designers, but also to pay tribute to all of the representatives from the Philippines that have been able to win the international crown of Miss Universe. Now let's talk about the performance of the night. I think personally that it was very entertaining. I mean, a show without music, without choreography, and without movement, it can get really boring. Now, my only concern about all of the performances was that, in my opinion, this was the main factor why the event was so long. We had many performers, and although there were certain moments where, for example, we had like 3 singers back to back because they were each singing the theme song of Miss Universe year for 2020, 2021, and now 2022. That was a great moment, but also that was almost like 15-20 minutes added to the show just for those 3 songs. So I think that maybe they should have found a way to have like a medley, have a singer do like a little bit of their song and have the candidates walk on stage and just pay tribute and homage in that way without making it overly long. But still, I also understand that for people within the venue, people who actually paid a lot of money to be there present at the arena, this must have been a very enjoyable experience. So I'm not complaining, I understand, but maybe just to keep in mind. I think that 4 hours, it's a little bit too long for the entire show, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it was very enjoyable and entertaining. For me personally, the highlight of the night when it comes to the performance was Morissette. Of course, if you've been on my channel for a long time, you know that Morissette, I mean, I love her, I'm a stan, I enjoy every single thing that she does. And of course, I think that when it comes to the live singing, she was definitely the best one. Not to shade any of the other performers, but Morissette hit every single note, every single mark. She looked amazing. She deserved like a prize for Miss Silka or something because her hair was looking incredible. And I also think that the Miss Universe organization saw the potential and gave her a very specific moment within the coronation night that was very special, and that's when the candidates are walking on stage, but also you have the former Miss Universes walking on stage as well. So I think that the message of the song combined with the visuals that were being presented and Morissette hitting like all of the right notes, belting, and just giving us a powerful performance was an incredible moment. For me, I really enjoyed it. But now, talking a little bit more about the show and the actual candidates, let's talk about the opening number of the coronation night. Of course, I thought that it was a lot of fun. It was very colorful. I love that the girls had these little accessories that looked like wings. It made me think a lot of Victoria's Secret angels, and I thought that it really served its purpose. It was colorful, eye-catching, entertaining, and a great way to just open the show. Very quickly after that, we actually got introduced to the top 16. And I'm actually not gonna take too long talking about the top 16 and top 10 and top 5 because honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I was actually very pleased with most of the candidates that made it into the top 16, top 10, and top 5. I don't have any major criticism, but I will talk a little bit about the major surprises that made it into the top 16 and some of the upsets, the queens that I was actually expecting to make it and after all didn't. So when it comes to the surprises, I think that Nueva Vizcaya, Aklan, Ilocos Sur, and Laguna were some of the queens that actually made it into the top 16 that at first I didn't see it for them, but honestly just based on the entire performance and there's also a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that we don't get to see as fans, so they rightfully earned the spot within the top 16. And of course, we celebrate them, we uplift them. I'm super happy for them. Now, some of the upsets, queens that I was expecting to see within the top 16, I can talk about Mandaue. I feel like Mandaue was so consistent all throughout the competition, but I really know where the problem was, and that was the preliminary interview. If you watched it, you remember that she was so nervous, she could barely catch her breath. And of course, I think that that's, you know, a major thing for a pageant. You need to be able to communicate properly, you need to be able to be eloquent and in control of the situation, because there are so many moments where you will be in a stressful moment and you cannot lose control. So I think that that was her downfall. I was also upset to not see Pangasinan make it into the top 16. I think that she gave us a great show from beginning to end, and of course I was hoping to see a little bit more from her. Victoria's City, I know that lots of people were rooting for Victoria's City, as well as other pageant bloggers and pages online, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. I saw so many people talking about Victoria's City. I thought that still she was missing a little bit of sparkle, like she needed a little bit more polishing in order to make it to the finale. But of course, I was still hopeful for her because I think that she's a beautiful candidate and had a lot to offer. And of course, the one that everyone was talking about was Miss Davao del Norte. Jan Nietzsche was one of the winners of the interview challenge, and then she also excelled during the preliminary interview as well. During preliminary competition, I think that she did an incredible job when it comes to the swimsuit presentation and also her evening gown. So honestly, I don't know what happened there, why she didn't make it into the top 16. It might be one of those situations where there's something behind the scenes that we didn't get to see as part of the audience, but I kind of like didn't understand that, to be honest. Anyways, now let's talk about the special awards of the night, and there are quite a few that I just want to review very quickly. The first one is, of course, Miss Friendship, which went to Miss Ilocos Sur. Now, I think that this is really the factor why Miss Ilocos Sur made it into the top 16, and that's the fact that she was actually very friendly and very open behind the scenes. And this is something that I can attest to because talking to different candidates, a lot of them refer to Ilocos Sur as being a great friend, someone that is there for them. So I think that this was also like a main deciding factor for her to, you know, enter the top 16. Let's talk about Miss Photogenic, Miss Pasay. Of course, Celeste obtained the second award of the night. This is a very special one in my opinion because being photogenic For a beauty pageant, I think that is really, really, really essential. And of course, I absolutely agree with this. I think that she deserved it. Best in national costumes, we have Albay. I personally thought that Julia's national costume was very, very creative. When I did my top picks video about national costumes, I don't think that I included her within my list, but that's perfectly fine because that doesn't take away from the fact that Julia really went the extra mile. And to be honest, when it comes to my national costume picks, I usually get them wrong when it comes to announcing the winner. I think I put Mandawi as my #1 pick, but once again, when you look at the craftsmanship behind Julia's national costume and just the overall message, the way that she presented it, it was excellent. So congratulations to you, Julia. Now, the two most special awards of the night, the first one was Best in Swimsuit, went to Pasay. And honestly, I think that this is the most important award of the night because when I think of previous years, if we go back to 2020, Rabia was the winner of Best in Swimsuit during her year. And last year, during 2021, Beatriz Luigi Gomez was also the winner of Best in Swimsuit. So I think that this is, is it a little bit of a coincidence that the candidate who wins this title always ends up winning the pageant? I don't know, but it definitely attests that the swimsuit performance is extremely important for the organization and the judges as well. So already when Celeste was called for this award, I had a very strong feeling that she was the one who was gonna get the crown at the end of it all. Now, Best in Evening Gown went to Makati. Of course, Michelle looked amazing during the Coronation Night. And I really have to give her props because I feel like she really stepped up her game for Coronation. I know that when it comes to the preliminary competition, I was giving her a little bit of feedback and things and comments that I thought that she could have done a little bit more during preliminaries. But during Coronation Night, I think that she was clearly enjoying more the moment. She was just having fun and enjoying it. And that's all that we want to see as being part of the audience. Of course, we expect you to deliver on the technical sides, on the Q&A and all of those things. But also we want to see that you are happy to be there, that you're enjoying it. And that's exactly what she gave us. Her gown was incredible, so I'm happy that she got this title as well. Now, when it comes to the swimsuit segment of the Coronation Night, to be honest, most of the candidates were really a highlight for me. There were only like 2 or 3 candidates that I was like, they could have done more. But just to not make the list overly long, I'll just mention some of the candidates that really excelled in my opinion. So of course, I think that Katrina looked incredible. The smile, the body, the poses, everything was amazing. And of course, this is exactly what I was expecting from her because she always excelled during the technical challenges during the competition. We had Chantal as well, giving us always that very sexy, empowered aura. Michelle, of course, I mean, we always talked about her very beautiful long legs. I think that when she did the swimsuit challenge at first with the photos, she was one of the highlights as well. Julia, with her very beautiful and toned body, she looks very strong. She looks very empowered, in control. We love her for that. Vanessa from Iloilo province was definitely one of the highlights when it comes to the body. I think that we did get to see some of her body, all throughout the competition, but the level of definition that she had for a Coronation Night was really beyond. So props to Vanessa for working so hard on her body, for really making sure that she was bringing her A game to the competition, and it really reflected during the Coronation Night. Genesis, I mean, everything from the body to the face to the styling to the walk, everything was on point, nothing to criticize. Misamis Oriental as well. I thought that Annabelle looked like she was having fun on stage. Beautiful body. I always gave her props for her very natural beauty, and I think that also reflected during the swimsuit presentation. Very effortless. And last but not least, Pasay. Of course, Celeste, when she walked on stage, she had that it factor. And why I always notice that is because usually when you have a lot of candidates, when you are getting towards the end of it, honestly, we are a little tired. We have seen like over and over candidates, but every single time that Celeste will come on stage, it will be a highlight. She will always stand out from everyone else. And keep in mind that Celeste was one of the last candidates to always appear on stage because she was representing Pasay, so letter P, one of the last ones. I think that it was really just the overall aura. From the moment that she walked on stage, she felt like a winner, and we have to celebrate her for that. Now, when it comes to the evening gown segment of the competition, I think that really there were a few stands out. Some of the gowns were really hit or miss for me, but the ones that really stood out in my opinion were, first of all, just going in order here, Katrina Llegado representing Taguig. I thought that she looked beautiful in this golden and silver gown. She honestly looked like an award herself, contrasting with her very beautiful skin. The face, it's just like immaculate. The styling was perfect. Michelle D actually looked incredible as well in her silver gown. I thought that it was very simple but just very effective because it allowed her to shine for who she is. Just like her overall aura wasn't overshadowed by the gown, so it was the perfect mix of everything. Julia, I thought that she took a risk with her gown because it was a little bit more on the sexier side, but she absolutely looked stunning. So I have absolutely no critique. I enjoyed her presentation at all times. She was incredible. Angelica, representing Palawan, I thought that she looked incredible as well. The gown really accentuated her body and all the curves in all of the right places. The waist was non-existent. I was there looking at her like, how to be you, Paul. Next we had Genesis with a yellow gown, and I know that not everyone was crazy about her gown, but in my opinion it was very, very effective. I just love the shape of the dress, the design, and I also love that she went with a very similar gown to the one that she wore during preliminary competition, just changed the color. During preliminary she looked incredible, and I think that going for that as well but changing it up a little bit for Coronation Night was a very wise decision because honestly she looked like a goddess right there. And of course, last but not least on the list we have Celeste, which came out with a very unique gown. Compared to everyone else, her gown was really standing out because it was very simple on its design. Some of the candidates were really big and a lot of sparkle and a lot of that, but I think that Celeste had just the right amount of shine and glitter and it factor while still delivering a very conservative, very standard design when it comes to the shape of the dress. And of course, this also contributed to her ultimately winning the crown of Miss Universe Philippines 2022. Going a little bit more into the top 10 of the competition, I'm going to tell you, there were really no surprises for me in the top 10 because at this point, I honestly thought that everyone worked so hard. Everyone deserved really just to make it. I wish that rather than a top 10 we could have at least like a top 12 or something, because there were just so many incredible girls this year that it was hard to just pick one and kind of disregard the others. But for those of you who actually watched the live stream that I did and watched me react to the show in real time, you will know that I was very upset. I mean, not upset, but sad that Angelica Lopez from Palawan didn't make it into the top 10. Of course, we know that she had that little moment during the swimsuit where she didn't look at the camera and just focused on the judges. So I think that that was really the downfall of Angelica at that particular time. I would have also loved to see Dorothy Chameleon from Iloilo City. I think that she did an incredible job during the preliminary and also during finals, but of course she didn't make it into the top 10. I would have loved to see more of them, but unfortunately it wasn't their moment. Hopefully they will come back and give us another year so that we can, continue rooting for them. And now, very briefly, I wanted to take a moment to talk about one of the highlights of the night for me, which was really Bea's final walk and speech. If you watch the live stream, you will know that I got a little bit emotional, and I'm actually going to make a separate video, nothing very complex, but I really want to talk about why this moment really got to me. If you watched my reviews last year for Miss Universe Philippines 2021, you will know that since the beginning I was kind of rooting for other candidates to win the title, and I didn't necessarily see Bea coming and snatching the crown. It was kind of a surprise. So I started Bea's reign crying because my favorite didn't make it, and it's kind of funny, but I ended Bea's reign crying as well, but this time around because of, I think that she truly taught me a lesson. I learned so much from her reign, from how she handled the public pressure, the media, the controversies around her, and ultimately how she was able to perform so well during Miss Universe against everyone's criticism and critiques. She was able to go and surprise everyone in that aspect. As I said, I'll make a separate video about it because I really think that there's a lesson to be learned from Bea. At least I did learn one for sure, but I just wanted to highlight this. Her last walk and her speech was just so natural, so human, so heartfelt, and I thought that it was just, very honest. It gave me the chills and it made me share a tear. Emotera is real, guys. Alright, now let's talk about the final top 5 of the competition. Of course, incredible women. I have honestly, if you came here to hear me rant about one of the candidates not making it into the top 5 or one making it who didn't deserve it, you're not gonna get that from me because honestly, at this point, anyone who would have won, my heart would have been so happy because I know how hard each one of these girls worked for this. I actually had the opportunity to interview 4 out of the 5 girls who made it into the top 5, and because of that, I truly had a lot of respect for them. I know that a lot of people were upset because Cebu City didn't make it into the top 5. And a lot of people saying also that Taguig, that Katrina, didn't deserve her spot because of her Q&A performance. But what I'm going to say is that people were looking at it, you know, as a whole, as an entire performance, rather than just criticizing because of the performance during the Q&A. Katrina was very, very solid when it comes to her performance during preliminaries, during finals as well. Her swimsuit was incredible, her evening gown was incredible. All of the moments that she had during the competition were major. And let's not forget that this is a beauty pageant at the end of the day, so yes, communication skills matter a lot and it's very, very important, but it's not the only factor. I think as well that Chantal exceeded everyone's expectations, and of course I think that yes, she deserved to be within the top 5, but I wouldn't sacrifice anyone's spot, you know, any of the actual candidates who got the spot, just to include Chantal, because at the end of the day, once again, I feel like they were all deserving. My hope for Chantal is of course that she gives it another try, because honestly she has it in her. I can clearly see her as one future Miss Universe Philippines. Learn from the experience, just take it all in and come back even stronger, and we will be rooting for you for sure. Actually, for those of you who are requesting a Q&A reaction or review type of videos, you know that I like to do this type of commentary videos. I'm actually working on it. I'll film it right after this one, so stay tuned for that. That will be probably coming out tomorrow, so I'll give you my exact opinion and feedback about the Q&A performance. And last but not least, we have to wrap up this video talking about the coronation moment, which in my opinion was full of emotions, and I honestly had a lot of mixed feelings as well, and I'll tell you why. For those of you who follow my journey with the pageant and my topics and the candidates that I was rooting for, out of a specific moment during the competition, Michelle D was really my top one. My pre-preliminary topics that I released, my leaderboard, you will see that Michelle D was my number 1, Celeste was at number 2. So of course, when I had the 2 candidates that I was really rooting for, it was kind of hard for me to decide like who am I gonna, you know, root for. It was really after the preliminary competition that I decided to give the number 1 spot to Celeste, because I just felt like I saw that fire, I saw that desire to go and take the crown, to really prove herself, especially after her entire history and everything that she went through. But of course, in the moment, you know, you never really know what's gonna happen, and I was rooting for both of them, but low-key I was hoping that it will be Celeste, because I think that especially in the very last segment of the competition, she truly proved herself. And of course, Celeste ended up winning the title of Miss Universe Philippines. It was a very emotional moment. I was very happy because I felt like she was able finally to prove her worth, her potential, and also to just see like everyone cheering for her. In the live stream, in the chat, in the comments, you could even see it in the video, in the live stream of the event, like everyone in the crowd just cheering for her, and I just felt like so happy. I think that she truly deserved it, and I am sure that she will be an incredible representative for the Philippines. Actually, I don't want to talk, you know, too in advance, but I truly think that she has the potential to go and get the 5th crown for the Philippines as well. We'll see what happens. But of course, I want to wrap up this video by congratulating all of the contestants, whether they made, you know, the top 2. Michelle, still so proud of you. You are incredible. The top 5 candidates, top 10, top 16, top 32, top 50. Everyone gave us such an amazing, remarkable, enjoyable pageant from beginning to end. And of course, that would not be possible without all of the candidates' efforts and their teams and the organization, and you know, Luis, calm down, I don't want to get emotional as well. Anyways, also thanks to all of you guys for joining me on this journey and staying with me until the end, and you know, always sending comments and feedback, and during the interviews as well. Like, everything that I do wouldn't be possible without your support and without your interaction. So, you know, I'm just beyond grateful that I get to share this experience with all of you as well. As I said, I will soon come out with a video for the Q&A segment, a review for that. I will also prepare a little video for Bea, which I really want to put out. And I think that I'm also gonna do like an overall review of Celeste's full performance during Miss Universe Philippines. Let me know if you would like to see that. So that's it, you guys. That was my recap of the entire event. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And of course, last but not least, come here and give me a hug, because that's a little tradition on the channel. You know that I love you, that I appreciate you. Thank you for coming and spending a few moments out of your day here with me. And until I see you next time, please stay safe, be kind to one another, sending you all my love, all my kisses, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.